Unmute. Greetings and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents Titan's Gift, Season 2, Episode 11. I'm your DM and host, Marty, joined by the whole... No, not the whole Seattle crew. Seattle crew minus one. Neil can't make it. That is on.
Isn't there usually a light?
There could be usually a light. Let me see. Something got unplugged?
There is usually a light. It's usually... when I hit it, it turns red, but
Okay,
it's a white light.
There's a light.
Okay.
Or something's picking up at least.
You wanna test your voice?
Testing.
You know what? I don't hear it.
Necro snake! Woo!
Unless somebody's pinching the cord.
There's a kink in it? Yeah. Yeah, it's like a
Keeps the words from yeah.
We're getting a little bit...
In the digital, yes.
I'm pretty sure that's how technology works.
Oh, let me check the, Well, the pinch the cord and broke it, you know.
Oh, right.
That's
what we were thinking, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely not like a garden house. So.
Yeah, right.
That'd be crazy.
Well, it would help
If I had the right thing selected. Okay, so.
Oh,
it's
done. Hey!
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
You know what I mean. Anyways, alright, so we'll start over. Welcome to Die Dragon Die presents Titan's Gift, Season 2, Episode 11. I'm the host Marty, joined by Luke, Matt, and Gene. How's it going?
Oh, hi, y'all.
Going alright. I almost said Levi there. I got it stuck in my... I'm like, where's Levi?
He's dead to us.
Good question.
He is dead to us. Poor Levi. Neil's Neil's working, so poor Neil. But the rest of us aren't. How is everyone's week?
Yeah, not bad. My basement flooded a little bit, and I got it pumped out and dried. And it has before, but it's been a few years, so we had some good rain. Dishwasher is on its last leg, so we went and ordered a new dishwasher. So that was fun. That was fun. Ordering a new dishwasher was fun. It's finally happened. I'm so old.
Have you considered calling your wife by her real name?
Oh, there
that's awful. I was going somewhere.
Yeah, I was trying to get one in there.
Luke's knee started bobbing. He got excited.
Yeah, oh, there it is. There's one in there. Where is it?
That's a horrible joke.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet
Pretend we didn't laugh.
Yep. Luke, what's going on with you, man?
Went camping this weekend. That was fun.
Describe your version of camping.
It rained most of the morning, in the afternoon, and into the evening. It was 28 degrees at night, about that.
So you go into the woods with basically any, like, as little equipment as possible on your backpack.
Well,
and
it's
then,
heavier if you bring more, you know.
Okay, and then you play survival for a night or two, and then...
Nobody's out there in the winter. It's so great. We were back there. It was you would probably have to go, like, 7 miles in any direction to find the nearest human. So that's nice. I really like when I like to get away from it all. I try to really get away from it all.
I mean, you realize you can like just stay in your apartment and like close the door and all of that happens except
So you play
20
survivalist with your girlfriend, alright. Cool.
If by girlfriend you mean Scott, then yes.
Oh, you went with Scott? Okay.
Yeah.
Gene, what's going on with you, man?
Not much.
How's work?
Good.
Are the compilers compiling compilers? Like compile code?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be a conference in Seattle in September on radiation protection, and we are writing like lots of papers for it.
Are there still tickets?
It's sold out.
Oh man!
I mean, you could probably honestly just get in there. Like, you would look exactly like all the attendees.
You might have to go to the scalpers.
Go ahead. I actually do think it's a fascinating subject, but yes.
Well, that's what we were doing. Like, normally I write software, and now I was writing papers. It's even more boring, and sucks even more. Yeah.
Work is called work for a reason.
Job ain't nothing but work.
Yep. Enjoying the new apartment. I don't think a single person has tried to pee on my door or batter down my front door or anything.
Is that a challenge, Marty?
No, it's not a challenge.
You don't think?
Yeah, it's not a challenge.
But
It's actually quite relaxing here.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, compared to freaking Cafe.
It's a nice view of.
Yeah.
I think across the way in that direction is Alki. Alki Beach is around the corner.
Oh, yeah,
Just
that
kind of
sounds
around
about
that
right,
way. Yeah. So I'm sort of staring at the harbor, I guess, but.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a recap of what happened last game. And somebody's got a negative level.
Yeah, somebody does have a negative level. It's me.
Yep.
Right.
More doing it here.
And dealt with, treated with hags.
Yes, Where's Ludo is the name of last game. The party visits the Seer's Eye Coven in their lair, the Cave of the Parched Throat. The professor plays with a strange bit of furniture, a necromantic wardrobe. The party is confounded by strange wards and mental tricks in the lair. Fereosae trades the 3 Yurthak eggs in exchange for prophecy. The hags use one of the eggs to summon a strange stone eye, which they then use to activate the divination powers of the Valley of Titans itself. Fereosae asks about one of their wayward friends.
Let's just be clear. Not summon, but the thing was literally born out of one of the eggs.
Yeah, hatched.
Yeah. That is much more disturbing. And I just wanted to make it clear.
That it was disturbing.
Yes.
Saun didn't see it get hatched because I don't think Saun was too afraid to go into the cave.
Saun spent the entire pretty much game
right.
just sitting outside.
Zephyros received his staff. I guess that's the actual Zephyros receives a mighty staff of fire, which is called Zephyros' staff of fiery evocation, which increases his caster level for evocation spells +1, and that also applies to the staff of fire. So with the staff, he's throwing caster level 9 fireballs. So Zephyros is pretty happy with the staff, and he seems to have it close at hand, not at hand, at trunk, since receiving it.
Because he can't hold it.
The party, after receiving the staff, has probably an easy decision to make. I'm assuming you guys are packing up your camp and going back to Bosterra?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see any reason to stay.
Saun, they seem to just know where they're going. Like they got the staff, and apparently this is what they wanted, and they start packing up their camp right away.
Well, I think we talked about what Fereosae saw, like, while we were even walking back.
Yep.
So, and yeah, I think Saun was pretty much on board with it.
Okay.
He wants to travel, that's really what it is. But here's where you tell me. Has Saun actually been to Bosterra?
No.
Okay, well, there you go. I mean, that's some reason.
Bosterra, you heard from you surmised from the conversation, is a town in this deserty land, and you're pretty sure that this town is a way stop along the Ether Rail network.
Sure.
The Ether Rail network is a train-like device and network that connects many of these pocket dimensions together.
Well, Saun has ridden that.
Saun would have ridden the Ether Rail to get to the Beastlands.
Right. And presumably other places, because he didn't go like...
No, the Beastlands was your first trip.
Okay, that's different from how I remember it, but sure, okay.
You may have gone other places, like you might have taken the train to other places, but you never did this, I'm going all by myself into the wilderness beyond where the train station has gone, and apparently heading to the Beastlands somehow got you into Bosterra, into the Bosterra Badlands, which is very far away, both physically and metaphysically, in a planar sense. And I guess this is what it means to be on an adventure.
I will spend one.
What is this?
I will. Funny you should ask, Marty.
By this, I mean, where did this token come from?
I will spend one arcane pool point to use my Magus ability, knowledge pool,
Yep.
which allows me to prepare a spell in my spellbook that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to prepare Conjure Carriage.
Okay.
And then when we're about to roll out, I'm going to conjure a carriage. Actually, I'll probably wait. I'm going to wait until we are out of this valley.
Out of the valley? Okay.
Yeah. So,
Alright.
we just leave that aside somewhere.
You guys find your way out of the valley. The Rothe is actually quite adept at jumping. You have to kind of coax it up a little bit between Texarat, Gigat's poking, and Saun's handle animal. You guys are able to slowly but surely climb your way out of the Valley of Titans.
Whew, well, that was a chore.
One last glance backwards towards the valley, which is the last green that you're going to see for a while. As the Valley of Titans, well, you've been in one rain shower while here. Rain is definitely rare between this spot and Bosterra itself.
Upon cresting the hill and seeing that there's no immediate danger, I will conjure a carriage, and I will say, well,
Okay, this ghostly carriage with ghostly horses. I'll grab some phantom steeds to represent the horses.
yes.
How many horses?
2.
Spirit horse.
If anyone is looking to ride in a bit of comfort for the remainder of the trip, by all means, I'll say as I get into this carriage, which can carry up to 6 medium or small passengers.
I think we should also take this. We're taking this Rothe, right, with the Howdah?
I'll stick my head out and go, well, yes, of course, but I don't think we can all fit in it.
True. I can fit in it though.
Suit yourself, driver!
There is a ghostly driver that is there, and it doesn't respond to like idle chatter. It just responds to commands.
Yeah.
Saun kind of, not taunts, but like gestures to the bear, like, I'm going there.
You're gonna put the bear into the carriage.
No, I'm gonna ask the bear if he wants to go into the carriage.
I don't know if the bear will fit.
How many people?
6 medium or small creatures.
Okay, so that means the bear will take up space of 4 medium creatures.
Yeah, that's a sacrifice I'm prepared to make. But I'm not even telling others that I'm doing this. I just ask.
Where will I sit? Says Fereosae.
I'll stick my head up. That thing, right?
I do not know how to control that beast. I'm coming in there with you.
No. Splendid. We can share notes.
With an odd hop in his step, goes around to the other side of the carriage, and before your bear's kind of sniffing at the thing, because he doesn't quite understand it. Zephyros definitely gets into the carriage as it kind of bends down to one side a little bit.
Almost.
How tall is it?
There's room up top. You don't know if the weight of the bear would go through the roof or not. It's like all ghostly, so like it's kind of like leaching, kind of like a whitish smoke, and some parts of it, including the driver, are somewhat translucent.
Fair enough. Yeah, again, just ask the bear, like, want to go out there? Like, but not actually say anything, just, like, look at him questioningly.
How fast does this thing move?
It doesn't say.
Okay, well then it moves as per a horse. It
Yeah.
doesn't say.
I mean, carriages move slower than horses, I think.
At standard carriage speed?
Yeah, a horse with burden basically. And let me figure that
Right.
out. Which I think is 30. Which means you're gonna travel 30 miles in a day, an 8-hour day.
This thing will only last hours, and I think it's 6 hours now instead of 7.
Horses move at 50 with burden would move at 40, which means you'd move at 40 miles per day. The bear doesn't want to go inside.
Does someone go up top?
How fast does the bear move?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's just 10. Let me look it up. Or 30, like whatever the standard speed is. It's loading.
We're gonna be quite the caravan traveling across the desert.
Great, yeah.
Speed of 40.
40?
So same as
Holy
the
shit.
horse.
Okay, so yeah, the bear is just outside. He's fine with bounding behind the horses. Who is riding in the Desert Rothe Howdah?
I will ride in Howdah.
Okay. Pixel will stay there with you. Who's actually piloting the beast or driving the beast?
I'll do it, I think.
There's a
Okay.
little bit of handle animal on. You've got some, yeah.
I have a
Saun-
lot.
Saun gets
you're
up there.
pretty into
the
this,
bear
right?
watches you get up into the big beast and will end up just following the big beast as opposed to which leaves Tech. Oh, there's the gross sound as Tech is unloading the meat sled onto the top of the
carriage.
the scarriage. Okay, so the meat sled is going up there. Where are your 3 eggs going? In the howdah? Are they on the meat sled? Or are they
I think the
inside?
Howdah is the right answer
Okay.
on that, or the carriage.
Yeah, I would
One
say
of the
either
two.
one of those. Not out in sight.
Well,
Yeah.
Mokrno, right?
Putting them in there for too long might be bad for them.
The cage with the frilled surprise is up in the Desert Rothe Howdah with you. And then I think Tech is also going to ride up in the Howdah. There's enough space up there for Tech to be up there. He wants to keep an eye out as you're going through
Onward!
the nature. All right, the Desert Rothe moves at 40 as well.
Oh, we're cruising.
Yeah, you guys walked out here at 20, didn't you?
Yeah, some shitty like that. Yeah, the speed of
You might
bugs.
you realize you might get back in 5 days. Like it took you 10 days to walk out here with your weird wheelbarrow and
Look at us now, baby.
right.
Riding spin.
What marching order between the Rothe the bear and the Phantom Steed Scarriage? Who's taking the lead?
I feel the Rothe may make the most sense to lead, a higher vantage point.
Okay, so you order the
Sounds
carriage.
like higher, alright.
You order the carriage to follow the Rothe.
It seems like the bear wants to be as close to Saun as possible, so it will probably try and always squeeze between the carriage and the Rothe to
Okay.
be closer.
Yep.
It's also the safest place.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks like a good marching order. You guys have spells that are protecting you from the heat. You've got Fereosae, who is creating water for everyone, and you've got a considerable amount of food on the meat sled from your butchery.
And I think we can purify food and water on it as well, if it started to go bad.
Who has that power?
Who does have that power?
We used to have it with Charcoot, but
Oh,
Charcoot's
that's
gone.
Right.
probably true.
Tech Saraki
Either way.
has made pemmican out of a lot of the meat,
Yeah.
and
Well, and during the
That's
15 days, I
yes.
think.
Yeah, you guys are
Yeah,
surviving on water and jerky is basically what you guys are eating.
I mean, we're in the desert. Like, that's pretty. It's not that.
And whatever like really stale biscuits are left over from the 10 days out from Bosterra, 15 days in the valley. And so you've been out in this desert heat for a long time. The sand, it's rough, it's coarse, it gets everywhere.
I want to be the first one to see them all, Marty.
Oh, that's funny. That's 2 campaigns in the last week that I made that joke.
I want something green. Green, I tell you.
Can hook you up with that.
We will be near cactuses soon, says Zephyrus.
Oh, what is that? Glancing up from my notes. As long as Zephyros is in here, I will talk his substantially large ears off with my notes I've collected while in the valley. Things he saw and experienced, I will tell him as if it is new information to him.
Okay. Zephyros has got the patience of a saint, but you're also talking about things that Zephyros kind of likes. Like, he's a scholar as well of magic, and while he may have a different style of magic than you do, he sits and listens to you and hums and haws and kind of like keeps you going. You don't feel so good though. As you start out the journey, the brief adrenaline rush of conjuring neat spells like the Scarriage and getting underway quickly settles into you sort of miserably sitting on this bench, and Mocronome actually like slipped onto a seat beside you.
Oh, you look pale.
Sorry, I would continue with the lecture, but I'm not feeling up to it at the moment.
I've never understood why people call people clammy. You don't look like a clam.
No, I would normally summon some trifle to amuse you here, Markanom, but not feeling so hot.
Do it anyway, bitch.
It's a curiosity, isn't it, Professor? You were too curious about your
Fereosae comes down
toy.
to check in on everyone, I guess, and maybe grab some food for the people up in the Rothe, like kind of middle of the day.
Yes, perhaps someone could examine me. Anyone?
I'm not a medic.
Where is that,
You're
Marble
practiced
Butt?
in the arcane arts, aren't you?
Biddle Marble, what was his name? Is he still around? Oh no, he's dead, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Fereosae doesn't laugh.
We have his knife.
Fuck him. Yeah, we can go fucking cut your throat if you want to go out quickly.
Anyone skilled in the arts of healing?
Do you wish us to get...
His son, I've seen him doctor some wounds.
I say if you do not mind, get them to stop.
I'll fly back up.
Yep.
The professor is doing poorly, and we need to stop for a moment and let him recover or see if we can fix him.
Is he sick?
Yes.
Good. Okay, let me go take a look.
He's sick from the cabinet that he unwisely touched. But at least he brought back some good information for us. And I didn't have to touch it.
It is eventual for the old man to get sick and die.
Yes, true.
I fist bump Saun and like, I think we're already there.
You kind of bumped the Thry Queen. He wasn't happy about it. It was more like matter of fact. And
yeah, I guess I grab my healing kit.
He is in his autumn, but not yet his winter.
He looks like he's in his winter.
It's right at the edge, I think.
And you climb down the Rothe. The Rothe kind of sniffs and paws at the ground, looking for quickly. You've wandered into like a dry, cracked mud sort of desert. There's not much here for anything living to eke existing.
Yeah, I before I go, I pet the Rothe, scratch it.
Yep.
Pull out bugs that are this big out of its.
Yeah, you find a couple of desert ticks. You're like, oh, that one's a big one.
Yeah. I keep one for inspection.
Okay.
I tell Fereosae to water
Yes.
Albert.
Did we have? Is that his name?
No, I named him. No, just now I named him. He was not previously called
yeah.
this. We've always called him Desert Rothe.
Perfectly reasonable name.
All right.
Yes.
He responds well to you.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's me. So do the ladies. And as I say that, and nobody laughs. And I'm talking in the party. Here, obviously, people laugh. Yeah, I walk back. I look at the horses, too, I think. Maybe I even stop. Because, I would have inspected
The
them by
horses look like they're spirits.
Quasi-real light
Yep.
horses.
then. Right. Well, I would have looked at them before
Yeah,
anyway, so I don't think I would stop now.
They're vaguely acting like horses, but there's something sort of ethereal quality to them. They do not seem to get tired. Of course, you haven't traveled very far. They aren't making whinnying noises. Doesn't look like they're interested in eating or drinking.
That's weird. That last part. Everything else, whatever.
Okay, you go into the back, and you see Zephyros sitting across from the professor, and the professor does look really pale, and he is clammy.
Okay, so I, the player, don't know fuck all about medicine.
Yep.
So Saun, I'm assuming, does. So
yeah,
like,
basically the first thing you want to do is probably diagnose what the fuck's wrong with them.
yes, well that's exactly.
So give me a heal check.
Okay, and yeah, I'm like losing no healing kits on this.
Yep. This is more of a you're trying to diagnose as opposed to cure.
Yeah.
DC's 20.
Okay. Hold up.
Can I attempt to aid him by telling him my...
If you offer
symptoms?
at all, I say no. But if you're like just talk, I don't think I really can stop you.
Yeah, so he starts describing how a ghostly hand came out of a ghostly presence that he couldn't quite see, grabbed him by the throat, and seemed to like make him very tired. He passed out because of this attack.
There's no spaces around the plus, right?
Nope.
Okay. So I don't use the plus from the healing kit.
Correct.
Okay. There we go. 17.
He looks ill, but you diagnose it as like a common cold, or that he ate something.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Even with the +2, that's 19, which is a fail.
well, yeah.
He just
Yeah.
needs bed rest.
Okay, and water. So I grabbed like a water bag that Fereosae filled.
Yep.
I poured it over his head, and I'm like, do this every couple hours. Drink even more.
Ooh.
Rest. If you get worse, come see me or call me.
Yes, sir, thank you for your mending, sir.
I turned to what's his name?
Zephyros?
Yes,
Akano?
Jesus, the Zephyros, obviously. I tell him like, if he well, hold on. So I'm thinking like food poisoning, because he wouldn't get a cold in the fucking desert, like it's warm there. If he starts throwing up or diarrhea or symptoms of dehydration, definitely tell me. We might need. He might be lacking salts or things like that.
Zephyros moves his robes so they're kind of like
Yes.
not directly across from the professor, and then he just sits quietly. He gives you a nod, like he's.
But I don't think he's infectious. But if he is, get him out of here.
There's just like narrowing of Zephyros' eyes.
So I wave and I like cheerfully skip back.
Okay. The caravan of heroes. Characters. Continue. The Jerks Emeritus continue on their way through
Protagonists.
Exactly.
Even that's strong.
It is.
You start reaching a similar point in the day as the day that you went to the hags.
So this is all less than 24 hours after.
Yeah.
Fereosae!
I think at this point in time you need to make a DC 16 Fortitude save to see if this negative level goes away, or if it is a permanent thing. And by permanent I mean it will require magic to remove.
Yeah.
That's not really
Just 1 second. I just had one idea.
Permanent meaning its duration is permanent.
right. Unexpire.
Yeah.
There we go.
You're getting hot flashes and then cold chills, and you're like, you are picturing this force as you were trying to connect to the great and necromantic wardrobe. This piece of furniture that was built by one of the founders of the Arcanacrum, one of the cohorts of Icky Macer. You don't know his name, but you just know that there was a circle of other wizards that were gathered together to found the first Arcanacrum, and they weren't all the same mind or the same personality. They were masters of their craft, each a specialist unto himself. And the necromancer of Icky-Maker's circle crafted that piece of furniture. Whatever purpose it was, you caught the sense that there is some powerful entity inside, and it could very well be the spirit of that first necromancer of the Arcanacrum.
Oh, the bastard.
When you tried to reach out to him, he did not like you prying into his secrets.
As wizards often do.
The thing that you did... give me a second.
There's a torture ability for heal and deep hurting. Interesting.
Whoa.
I have to remember that.
There is, you realize that in order to invoke the necromantic powers of that big wardrobe, that sacrificing part of your essence, sort of your spirit to it, is part of how you bond with and connect with that device.
None of those words spoken together are too commonly spoken together. Like, I'm just saying.
I was trying to
Now,
think...
you did it all wrong, but you're pretty sure you did the sacrifice portion without actually invoking the right phrases and identifying the object as it was a magic item. You more tried to get a sense from your psychometry.
Do I think that if I was back there, I could then use it to summon something now? Or I could use its power, rather? I've already paid or is it sort of already ate my dollar?
You really want to spend time identifying it the next time you are in the vicinity of that item. Probably from a good distance, though.
I am trying to rack my mind of a way to spin this into a chaotic good situation, to use the joke and use a hero point to increase my roll here. The joke is my card from Zalara.
Yep.
I am wondering if maybe something with a vomit twin and promising to never do anything bad again. Some sort of foxhole come to Jesus type moment.
Sure, you feel miserable. This is a miserable feeling on the verge of losing a level.
I will stagger out of the carriage into the sand here.
Already the carriage is stopped, and you this is a couple of hours later on the road, and the professor comes stumbling out. He looks pretty bad.
I jump down.
Maybe if you vomit out a twin, the negative level will go into it. The sacrifice will be on the vomit twin and not you.
I promise, if I can get through this, I'll never tell another lie again. I will say that as I cast Vomit Twin. I vomit up a twin of myself, and I will start choking it, and I think then at that point the crawling hand will come out and help me start choking it as well.
The vomit twin is all wet and just doesn't do anything.
So when I see that, my conclusion is, okay, he has fever, he needs to be brought inside and kept. So I yell out Yo Zephyros, he has fever. He is really sick. Get him inside. He shouldn't be exposed to.
He's kind of like tapping you with his new staff.
Just a minute, I'm settling something here. This is the last time, Henry. Never play with anything you don't understand. You only get yourself into trouble. Slap it a few times.
So I jump down and like I run toward him as this is happening, and like I basically just try to grab him, like put him inside.
Pixel's running at him. Professor, yeah, you get tackled by Saun. The vomit twin is just sort of lying there in the sand because it's like all confused and new.
Let me back up. I will switch places with the vomit twin, and now I'm not being held back. I will take Icky Maester off my throat and go over to the now vomit twin on the ground and start choking it. Now you're the one who can't lie! I tricked you! And I think hopefully at some point the joke card falls out of my pocket. Or does it?
Sure. It's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you, instead of the +8 luck bonus, it's going to be a +6 luck bonus.
Beautiful. Alright, and as I am now choking what everyone... It's a vomit twin.
It's a great performance.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's awesome. I don't know if it's chaotic good, though.
Yeah.
Do not see how. Like,
I've seen a lot of chaos.
Everything else I would give that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're like, and Son, you're like, you were just holding the non-wet one, and now you're holding the wet one. It smells like pablum, and it's got this dumb look in his face.
I think, but I did see him vomit it though, right?
Yeah, you saw him
Okay.
vomit something that then kind of just stood up as himself.
Right.
And
So I make a mental note, like after we drag him inside, to check the vomit, like in a medical way. Like, hey, if he has food poisoning, like this is consistent.
Vomit normally doesn't turn into a replica of yourself.
Yeah, but I'm talking like the contents.
Got it.
Like, is there bugs in
The
there?
content. Another professor. Give me your.
Here we go.
Yep.
33! 19 on the die! Woo!
The vomit twin starts to look really clammy and is sort of shivering, and the professor noticeably has color returning to his cheeks. And it looks like all this excitement broke his fever or whatever it is that he had. The vomit twin stays around for how long?
Super short. It may be just rounds.
Okay, yeah. It turns into kind of like this ick, and then the ick sort of sublimates and disappears.
Feeling much better. I guess I did eat something a little off there, son. Now, what are we standing around for? We have places to be.
Midway through that sentence, basically grab him,
So
put him inside, like stay inside at least for tonight.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yes. Like push Zephyros in there, like hold him in there. Don't let him out.
Yes. Good thing we're out here where no one can see.
Back to the howdah.
I can see. Yeah, so I inspect, like, I guess make a heal check on vomit. Like, did this come out of a sick person? Like, if sick, like, how sick? Like, is this a result of, food poisoning? Is this a result of something else?
Sure,
Like,
give me another heal check as Saun's poking around your vomit, or what vomit was part of the spell.
34. Natural 20.
Nice. You get the sense that this is basically what he had for breakfast. You don't smell any infection or...
Okay.
That has to be thoroughly confusing.
It sounds like, okay, well.
Yeah.
I ate the same thing
It's
for
like
breakfast.
he induced vomit, or the spell that he cast had some vomit on it. The mysteries of the professor's vomit are noted. Probably forgotten in the next hour or two.
Yeah.
Spark for the course.
Alright, so the professor is feeling much better.
Woo!
The price of knowledge is not as steep as what we thought it would have been.
That seemed like a pretty low DC on that fortitude. Like, I would think that something that scary would be higher impact than that.
It's a thing where though if you fail it, it's very bad, and for a whole day, it's pretty bad for a whole day.
Yeah, if I was in the middle of a fight,
No, we'd be dead. Like, there's no way we could have taken.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the heads,
I
but
hear
yeah.
they were pretty terrible.
Even so,
Yeah.
you might have lost the top level of spells. There's all sorts of bad things that happen when you lose a level.
No, I know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
it's a scary thing. It's just that. Well, I guess it makes sense. Like, if it's scary, then the expected value of impact is kept like reasonable. What?
Okay. Let's see. 64 was the eggs.
Fucking D&D Homer Simpson Bart bit right there, the whole choking scene.
Hags and
you little?
It took you 10 days to get out here. You're traveling almost twice as fast. It'll probably take you about 5-6 days to get back. Let's roll random encounters for those 5-6 days.
Yeah.
6 1d100s. We'll say, given that you've taken out considerable amount of the wildlife in the region, I'm going to say there's only a 4% chance of an encounter. There are no encounters during your travel.
Cool.
So let's kind of do the reverse journey. You travel through the Great Parch, which is the first leg.
Yep.
Given that Tech has been this way before, he navigates you guys across the Great Parch to this set of cliff face. When you reach the cliff face, you take it would be an easterly direction. Saun, at this point in time, you realize that the beam of blue light that came from the gnomon inside of like the big center pillar of rock, you are traveling in the direction that beam
Right.
had gone. You guys travel for probably several days along this cliff face. It is really warm along the Great Parch. Your spells do come in handy. When you pass through the Great Parch, there's some giggling about cactus people. As you reach the prickly scrub, which is a different sort of, it's like a cactus, low desert plants, some desert flowers, and the brown and green hills of Bosterra. You know that nestled between some of these hills coming up is the Bosterra town, and they built the town along a rare river in Bosterra.
Oh look, we're going to Phoenix, Arizona.
There's also the temple with the place we set off from.
The commune?
The commune.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, from afar, as you guys are traveling.
It's relatively close to the city, isn't it?
It's close. It's like
Yeah.
it's an hour walk outside of Bosterra town from the station is the commune.
I think that might be a good place to sell this rothe.
Oh,
What do you think?
Why would we sell it?
I don't.
Because it doesn't fit on the train.
It is a valid point.
It doesn't? Can't we like rent a full car and put it there?
Ugh.
You'd need a cow car to stick the rothe in.
Yeah. Do they not have those
I
in
don't know what I would do with it in Grand Station either.
Ride it? It's great.
If you wish your share of the treasure to be this rothe, you may take it with you.
Plus the things that we have already given you.
Well, yeah, obviously. Some things about it says, let's meet these people first.
See how much it's worth.
No. See how well they would take care of him.
Oh, they're quite upstanding folk. Some commune of altruistic mages or something.
Indeed.
Mages?
I don't know if they're mages, actually. Were they mages?
All sorts.
Okay.
Yes.
Certainly priests.
As you guys travel through the prickly scrub, you do start to find that there is a road. The road isn't well traveled, but it's definitely a road that led to maybe a trading post at one time that has kind of been all dilapidated and sort of weather worn and collapsed. It turned into a campsite. It's at this campsite, however, you're probably a day outside of Bosterra. When you see that there's a horde of flies and a couple of coyotes angrily chewing at something in the campsite.
What do you suppose that is?
Doesn't look good. I'll fly over and see
Okay.
if I can get a.
You flutter over to a set of
Sort of,
rocks and you
yeah.
look down. Oh, it looks like they're chewing somebody. It looks like somebody didn't get up from camping.
I'll go sound like a cannon.
Yeah, I'll come
Okay.
back and see.
Wham! There's this loud noise. Even the Rothe looks up.
Yeah.
Mockernom, a couple of like stringy tendrils with eyeballs kind of on the edge of it, looking outside of the out of the Scarriage. It's a great name.
It really is good. Yeah.
Yeah, Fereosae, it looks like there's a man who's face down. He's wearing leatherish pants and clothes.
It's Freddie Mercury. No.
Like brown leathers, like he might be a teamster or a miner or something. Give me a perception check.
My perception is rather good. 19. 30.
The cannon noise, by the way, drove like the two coyotes. They were just two young coyotes. They fucked off.
I'll get out of the
The horde of
carriage.
flies, however, were not disturbed by it.
I'll get out of the carriage and walk over.
Okay. So the professor walks over to the body. Let me just find it. Like a thug or some token to represent the body. Human. Definitely human. Face down. Male. Maybe middle-aged. What was your perception check?
30.
There was an attempt to start a fire. Like you see, it looks like he may have tried to do the old, like the stick on the friction method of fire starting. The fire there does not look recent, and it looked like he might have spat up blood.
Yikes.
Next
Died
to the
before he
fire.
got his fire going.
And he wasn't carrying any camping gear.
Hey,
Detect
he
magic?
looks not a skilled camper. Perhaps he was unwell.
I think are you like floating as you're saying this?
I'm sitting on perched on a rock nearby.
Okay. Yeah. I would just come by and like look at tracks, look at the spots on the ground, like try to get some sense of what the fuck happened here.
Yeah, okay, so give me a survival check while you are going to detect magic and give me a perception check.
And
Do both of us?
No, I need a perception check from you, a survival check from you.
Okay. So I'm looking at tracks. Is this a tracking or?
Yep, you add your tracking bonus.
Okay. 23.
This man came down the road. He stumbled around the camp for a while. You find he threw up blood, and then he kind of like curled up next to this collection of stones, like he was trying to ward away. It does get cool at night, because there's not a lot of trees and cover. And he might have died in his sleep. What was the perception check?
not good. 16?
Okay, you don't sense any magic coming from him or the campsite.
Detect poison.
Okay, he's still face down. Like, you guys haven't really, like, flipped him over or done anything yet, but, Saun is looking at the body. Fereosae is watching from afar.
Yeah, I'll just keep watching. I think this seems like a reasonable place to watch from. I don't see any reason to go in closer.
The body, but also just things around it. Like, do I only see his steps? Well, and the animals. Like, do I see any other boots that don't look like his, or footsteps that don't look like his? Things like that.
No, he came into the campsite alone, and strangely enough, the dogs might have come. Like, he died somehow. A cold night in the middle of summer wouldn't kill a healthy man. You'd be a little bit miserable that night.
Right. Yeah, I relay this information.
Okay.
What do you make of the blood? Seems perhaps he was sick.
You detect poison?
Yeah.
The man has on the body or on a specific item? In this case, the body could be considered an item for your spell.
I'll probably start with the blood that he threw up and then move to the body and then see if
so
there's
the
stuff
pile of
around
blood,
there.
you do not sense any poison from. Detect poison's a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're basically
I'm just poking around.
CSI D&D right now at this point. So then you shift your gaze to the body, and you do not sense any poison on the body. You do see a like a metal canteen lying nearby. It looks like it's empty.
Check that. Maybe he drank something.
Give me a wisdom check or a craft alchemy check. I believe this is how detect poison works. There is a faint poison coming from the bottle.
Wisdom is +1. 19. Poisoned, I think. Is canteen over there.
Oh, it's really mild. It's on the verge of, you know that alcohol can register with this spell, especially spirits.
I'll mage hand pick it up and give it a whiff.
Yeah, okay, you mage hand pick it up and you kind of give it a whiff, and it's like rot gut whiskey from Bosterra.
Just cheap whiskey from town, I think.
Drank himself to death.
What you don't like when you sort of look at it is that some of his lip marks around the lip of the canteen, like there's blood on the canteen.
Son, you're a bit skilled in the healing arts. Have you ever seen anyone who left behind blood while taking a drink?
Yeah, lots of times in bars, but it's not from the drink.
Yes, that's a fair point.
Do I see what he's seeing on the canteen? Like
I'll mage hand and show him.
Okay, so this ghostly hand is now handing the canteen to you.
Yeah, I grab the canteen, I look at it, and I basically say, this is... He was bleeding from the mouth, and it's not from alcohol.
Yes.
Can a curse do it, or some kind of magic?
Okay, at this point in time, you're kind of looking like he did fall face down, but his head's cocked off to the side a little bit. Oh, is that rot? He looks pretty messed up. He's been baking out here for who knows how long. It would take some sort of
Curses, you say?
Survival or heal check to figure out how long he's been
a little
up.
bit closer and just take a look at the face.
Yeah, and I had him the flask. Like, hey, take a look at this too.
Want to kick him over?
Oh, we don't need to do all of that.
Yeah, before we do that, I just want to get a sense, like, how long has the body been here? Like, the state of the body.
What is your bonus in survival?
18?
He's been out here for 3 days.
Okay.
He died 3 days ago.
Explains why the coyote are here.
Enough time for him to start to smell. You lean in and kind of take a little bit of a whiff. He smells even more spoiled. Like there's this like there's this weird rot to the smell of it. Like it's sickly and sweet.
Shall we flip him over?
He's too far gone. We'll never figure out what happened to him.
I'll clap my hands and see if I can get the unseen servant who drives the carriage to come down and flip this guy over for me.
What is the weight limit of unseen servant?
I think it's 20 pounds.
Okay. The unseen servant there's this ghostly servant kind of reaching down and tries to move his shoulder.
Lift 20 pounds or drag 100 pounds.
Okay.
Strike score of 2.
And you guys are all kind of standing around him having a look.
Yeah.
Yep. You disturb the corpse, and there's a weird balloon, like a tiny balloon or something, like a pustule that pops on his neck when you disturb the corpse.
Ooh, I will step
Give me
back.
a D3 to see who's in danger of getting the pustule juice on them. 1 is Henry, 2 is Fereosae, 3 is Saun.
You got it?
I got it. 2.
Is Fereosae? Okay, so as this magical thing kind of disturbs this corpse, there was like a weird welt on like he had a bunch of welts, like little tiny like blood blisters, but there was a particularly big one that kind of popped and like you got some juice on your arm.
Goodness gracious. I'll start creating water and
Okay, so Fereosae's off
spraying
having a swap.
I actually follow Fereosae, like, because I'm like, and I called to Professor, like, seriously for once, like, hey, get the fuck back, like, walk way back, get your servants away from it, get the hand away from it, whatever, just don't even look at it.
Ooh, my.
I'm serious. And then I turned to Fereosae and like, hey, let me look at your hands. So, like, some of these things can see through your skin, or bark or whatever the fuck you have.
All right.
I'm
rinsing at least.
Yeah, for sure. Like, keep it's clear water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like motioning, like, yeah, keep washing it. And Marty, I want to take a look. Like, hey, was there danger of this thing? Like, do I see any effect on the skin from this? I mean, once it's been washed.
Shall I put down the need to make a roll in about 24 hours?
A bunch of you are going to have to make rolls. So you look at it, you've washed it all off. You didn't have any open sores. And the last thing you could think of is maybe soap. Soap and some sort of perfume, like might be the cure. You're still not certain what that was. Like you just kind of heard a pop and like some
Right.
blood went flying. There was something wrong with the dude's neck, though.
Right. Yeah. Too bad.
It's a rotting dead corpse of a human. Let's just go into town.
That's the problem. You could be infectious now. Like, I would assume Saun would know enough about infectious diseases to like say that.
It could be. You are a healer.
Right. Well, so and my point is, I don't want to metagame. Like, I, the human, know
There are
that.
more healers in the town as well.
You know that
people-
diseases can basically be transferred in several ways through bites and wounds.
Sure.
Sometimes simply by touching.
What about that commune we were going to? I suppose they'd probably have someone skilled in the arts of healing.
Quite likely, although who knows if we need any healing yet.
Ooh,
I feel fine.
probably at least a bath.
Yeah, it's been like a minute. Like, that diseases are a little bit slower than that.
It
was.
smelled, and you washed it off right away.
Yeah.
And you acted fast, and you didn't
Come
get
now,
it.
let us get to town.
Yes.
It could be dangerous for others. Like, we could be endangering a lot of people by doing this. Are you okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, well, fair enough.
I'm okay with it as well.
Okay.
Son just shrugs.
Alright, Fereosae gets back
He's
in
actually
front of the
chaotic
desert
neutral,
Yeah.
technically.
Ew,
you
got the icky stuff from him on it.
Yes.
What do you think killed them? This is Pixel talking in Sylvan to her
It's a
mistress.
human drunk. Who knows? Perhaps the drink destroyed his innards.
The professor suddenly
it-
remembering something. Wasn't there some terrible epidemic plaguing the commune or the town before we
The
left?
reason that I am not bringing that up is because the only one that noticed was Ludo,
And he never told
didn't
any of you.
tell us.
So Professor,
Oh yeah, then by all means.
Professor's basically
Absolutely.
stated
Yeah,
that
well,
there's
yeah, that's probably fine then. You wiped it off.
I'm not concerned.
You
Marty,
muttered to yourself
in
about
character.
some sort of plague or whatever. And,
Plagues, terrible scourge. Oh, hopefully it's nothing.
This whole place is a plague.
okay, so it's like, okay, good.
So you stopped poking at the corpse, and you didn't really turn him over. You didn't get a really good look at what may have killed him. To Fereosae's point, he has been baking in the sun, and coyotes have started to eat his sides.
This is not a source of treasures.
Yeah, I've seen enough. I think we'll continue on to the commune.
Okay. Yes.
Well, you said you were about a day away when this happens.
Yep.
What time of day does this happen?
You guys will arrive in town probably by evening.
Oh, okay, so a day's walk, gotcha.
Sounds good.
About 4 hours later, you are almost in town. You can see the commune sitting up in the hills, and you can kind of see some of the roofs of Bosterra town. And there is a sign in the middle of the road that is roughly carved and made out of wood that says, "Warning, plague."
Oh no.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yes. Let's not touch any more bodies.
Sure would have been nice if they put that sign a little farther out.
Well,
Day
yes.
away?
Yes, that would have been convenient.
Yeah. The...
I suppose.
Can I make a check to see, like, would a plague hurt a bear? Or does it have the potential to?
Depends on the disease.
Okay, so, but I know that it potentially can.
Yep.
Okay, I tell the bear, like, how complex can I make it? So, is there like cactuses or something along those lines around?
Yeah. You look at the.
Can a bear eat a cactus?
Sure.
Are you sure about
There are some
Some cactuses.
Latin American dishes that are
Yeah.
made from cactuses.
that? Yeah,
You might have
but
to pick out all the spines, but
that's kind of my point. Like, if a cactus is growing, can a bear come to it and eat it?
there are some varieties of cacti where the spines aren't that difficult. A bear has a
Gotcha.
big ass.
Right. So yeah, I think Saun decides like, okay, I'll go in with you. You know, they might need a healer if nothing else, but Bear's not going with us. So I, unload like a bunch of meat off the meat sled.
Okay.
Or maybe even like, because we don't have the sled itself with us, right?
It's on the roof.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Of the thing.
You could leave the bear out of town.
Well, that's what like, I wanted to go further away than we were. So I think what I want to do is I want to take the meat sled down, put some meat into it.
Yep.
There's not another way out of here except on that ether rail.
I'll come
Yes.
back for him.
After we visit the commune? Yeah.
I guess.
That
Yeah.
sounds good.
Do we have like a bucket or anything like that? Like
What are you concerned about?
I'm concerned about the bear getting sick.
Don't let him eat strange meat.
I mean,
Saw
that thing can probably poison by contact. It's hard to like.
Don't let him
Probably on
touch
the
strange
floor.
meat.
Perhaps we need to put a muzzle on him before bringing him into town.
Could be.
If he has any open scratch, that might poison him too, and you. But I mean, we can risk it. The bear might be harder to heal.
You can leave him out here if you like.
Yeah.
Leave some meat and a bucket of water.
Well, I mean, that was my question: is do we have a bucket?
Yeah, you've got camping
Sure.
gear. You found a bucket in the beat up camping gear outside the hags.
Alright, yeah, I would have grabbed that.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have one.
Right.
The
a bucket.
Yeah.
And then you hid.
behind the bucket. The bucket's like not that big. Yeah, so I, asked Fereosae to like pour some water into
I'll
it.
fill the
and-
bucket for you.
Yeah, put the bucket on the meat sled, like attach the meat sled to the bear, and tell him like go that way, wait for me there.
Okay.
You can't take all of our meat.
No, I am saying I put some meat on because it didn't have anyone that was on
Okay.
top of the
So
carriage.
you tell the bear to stay near the big cactus that's kind of off, like 100 yards off the road.
Well, I would say further than that. I would say like go, he wouldn't know a mile, but like I point to something that's a mile away.
Okay.
So go to
You
that.
find another big cactus about a mile away, and
Yeah, there we
you go to that one, and the bear wanders out there and pulls the meat sled. with
Yeah.
it.
And ask someone to like recast resist energy on or whatever, like the heat protection.
It lasts 24 hours.
Okay, no, recast it right now anyway. Like, who knows how long we'll be gone.
I can't cast. I have no more castings of it.
Zephyrus had like 4 or something.
Yeah, which he cast on the party.
Okay, so nobody has any reserved. Fuck it. Then
Come back
they just
before nightfall.
Yeah, I guess so.
Come back before morning.
It is
We
nightfall.
are
right?
only an hour or two outside of town.
Right.
You should be safe out here.
We can camp where the bear is tonight.
I don't think the dire lions come this close to the town.
Yoo-hoo.
Probably not.
I look around at the tracks. Like, do I see dire line tracks?
You haven't seen any out here. The only dire lion tracks you saw were in, like, the Valley of the Titans, where you guys were.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Saun still worries, but has no choice. So,
Okay, so you guys start going into town, or you camp outside, or what's that?
I think
commune?
we're gonna. Yeah,
You
we're gonna head into the
could
commune.
jig around the town and try to move around and go to the commune.
I think that's the first place to go. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys arc around the town. Now the commune's sitting up on the hills, overlooking a river that kind of meanders next to the town, and you kind of go around the long way, and you see in the dying light of the day, by this point in time, that there is like a small tent city along the path that leads up to the commune.
That wasn't there before.
No.
You can see
Leper colony.
you can see phants. Some of them look like they're helping sick people, and it looks like there is like a sick tents. Maybe a dozen or so tents, like big phant pavilions, and you can see some phant that have like coverings over their trunks.
Shall we go around this?
so it's like those bird.
Look like a big sock kind of thing
Yeah.
over their trunks, and they're wearing gloves and
Mittens.
sure leather
Yes.
mittens, and some of them have goggles on, and they look like they
Plague doctors.
look like they are phant plague doctors almost.
Yes, let's go around it if
Plague
we
doctor
can
with a-
here. I'd like to know what's going on and if the town is safe.
Yes. And if the rail is even running.
Indeed.
Okay, so there is a map for the commune.
Did you tell us about the super awesome pool they have in there?
Oh yeah, they do have pools. Yes.
Tell us, because you stumbled upon it and were like, "Wow, this is
I
really."
might not have mentioned it, but I'm willing to talk about. I'm willing to talk about it now. Yeah, they do have some pools in a shrine there that have some healing properties.
There are some sick people stumbling down the road, and you can see that they're coughing. They look really tired. You see a bunch of them have like an obtrusive rash on their neck, face, and possibly their limbs. Some of them look like the blisters that you saw on the corpse. Kind of like just like this grape filled kind of collections of blisters along the neck and other places. You see one person on a stretcher that looks like he's dead. And he's got black patches on his skin
and looks like he has expectorated blood, which means you've coughed up blood out of your lungs.
Yeah.
And there's like a couple of phant that are moving him, and you can see the Vark are off to the side, and they are arguing with a phant who's dressed like the plague doctor, who is burning some of the clothing from the sick, and you can see the Vark like don't like this.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't like this conflagration.
Fucking dummies.
If any of the sick people get close to us or start to approach us,
Yep.
I'll hex their saves and then sleep hex them.
Just to make sure they don't come up and touch you. Is that
Yeah.
Okay. No, they're not approaching the big
Yeah.
desert rote. You kind of avoided the sick camp, but there is some traffic between the commune and the sick camp down below.
I'll stay in the scarriage and cast prestidigitation in there and try and cover the probably pretty awful smell outside.
Yeah, you catch a whiff of it every once in a while. So every few seconds, you are casting a spell which gives you like a nice rose or a minty smell. It only lasts for a
I
short.
think it lasts an hour.
Does it? Oh,
Yeah.
So that's cool. You guys are approaching. You can see that but they are junk. They are not using their junk any longer. Yes, but they are ill. You do not want to spread this illness. And this conversation and the horde of Vark are in your way from entering the commune.
Have we got any junk to distract them?
I'm sure we could think of something. I'll lean out the window.
Giant fucking cannon shot.
Silent image, a pile of boots springing up out of the ground.
Oh! Boot junk! And a bunch of them kind of go scrambling over towards the boots.
Somewhere on the ground where they would have to run to get out of our way.
Okay.
Doctor, can you tell us, is it safe to trade at the commune?
I am not a doctor.
Are there any doctors available?
Priest?
We have priestess. Her name is Yadira. She is down with the sick, tending to their needs.
Ooh,
Hmm.
down with the sickness.
Are there traders in the city? In the commune? We have a desert rothe.
He looks at you.
It would serve you well.
Not one.
Now is not a time for travel.
Tell us, is the ether rail running still?
Don't know. The train is overdue.
When was it scheduled to arrive?
Yesterday. It is late. Uncharacteristically so. Give me a charisma check or a diplomacy check to see if you find if they'll buy the rothe off of you.
Yeah, let's see here. I'll give you diplomacy. Plus 15. 24?
A used rothe,
Gently.
gently used.
New and gently used rothe.
Let's see. An elephant is worth. Holy shit. Okay.
They're perhaps more common around here than
Yep.
here. They're not as exotic.
Well, but we had to walk him across like 5 days worth of ungreen desert.
He was.
He is trained for travel.
Yes.
I'm sure someone in the commune will give you 800 dollars for him.
Is there any place safe to travel in town? Trying to avoid this whole situation.
Yes. We prefer not to be plagued ourselves.
Of course. Everyone is trying to avoid it.
They are wise.
Is there any way to test if you have contracted it before symptoms begin to show?
And what else do you know about the disease?
Tell us how it appears.
I am not a doctor. You will have to talk to Yadira. She is down in the sick tents.
Is she sick herself?
Not anymore, he says.
Ooh. Well, that's good. It can be cured then.
He bobs his head after, he didn't like the pause before he bobbed.
How did she cure herself, do you know?
Yadira is a priestess. A Bampa Damadamba.
That is an excellent name. A title, I guess?
No, she's a priestess of Baishipe, isn't she?
I think so, yeah.
She is a priestess of Baishipe.
That's less good.
Interesting.
I think I remember reading about these. Because that sounds awesome.
It might be worth sending one of us in to see.
I want to talk to her.
Try not to touch them. Try to isolate anyone who has the rash.
Yes.
I glance at Fereosae's arm. Do I see any rash?
It was earlier in the day, so you don't see any rash that's there. Of course, her arm is like barky, smooth bark.
Yeah.
Which it always has been.
What is smooth bark like?
Like white birch?
Like a birch, yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Alright. So very white. Gotcha.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, her token is she's got more brown skin, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But her forearm is like smooth bark.
Right. Well, it's just on the token it's not smooth. On the token it's like straight up bark. That's what I was wondering. Okay.
The soft parts of her are smooth.
That is an unnecessary mental image. Anyway.
Then, I guess...
Okay,
What
you
if she...
see that the Vark are all disappointed because the shoes are disappearing, but 2 Vark have managed to go down to where some of the clothing has been thrown away and not burned, and you can see that they're grabbing at the clothing.
Ooh. Seems you didn't burn enough of it.
Are they within 30 feet?
You can make yourself within 30 feet, yes.
I'll move within 30 feet and ask the phant, do they need to put those down?
Yes.
I'll...
He looks very cross as you're looking down at them that are fighting over like a pair of pants.
One at a time, I will hex their saves, sleep them.
Do you want some pants?
And they're like approaching with the pants, and both of them end up falling asleep.
Take a nap.
Thank you. These 2 will be isolated, he says, to the other Vark.
Oh, that might not be sufficient. If you take some junk from them, that might forestall their...
This junk is not yours.
But you are burning it. You do not need it.
It is fuel for the fire.
But we have better fuel.
Leave. Between them falling asleep and the trick boots and 2 of their companions falling asleep, you've defeated these Vark.
I think we should get rid of the Rothe. We can't care for it, and it's at risk of getting...
Let's go pick a buyer, but first... I agree. Let's go select a buyer. I'm willing to sell it as long as they would care for it well.
Yes.
But first I want to talk to the priestess. Let me go into that camp. I'll risk it.
I'll go with you.
Well,
Do we want to risk it? You already have.
I can fly. I've already been touched by it. Perhaps I'm the one that should go. I can lead. You can follow. How about that?
Fair enough, I guess.
I can also
Son was thinking of something else, but
sleep them out of the way if need be.
The fish picks up the 2 Vark that were touching the diseased clothing and kind of puts them into a bag and draws the bag strings very tight, but around they're kind of like their neck, so they're sort of stuck in like two bags, and just puts them to the side of the road.
Some nods approvingly.
Oh, there, Master Phant, is there a place in the commune that perhaps my companions and I could stay? We've just got into town and wish to avoid contamination.
The commune is closed
Oh,
to outsiders.
well, my friend here, he's a Phant. Surely you can make an exception. You remember Zephyros? We were here but a fortnight ago.
Yes.
It was longer than that, bro.
If the
I
Tusker
forget
has
a lot.
business here, we can bring him before Dombros.
Oh.
Do you have business here? I think it might be good to find some business here, I will say, nudging Zephyros. Better than finding business out there.
But while the commune is closed, only Zephyros, the Tusker, will be allowed inside.
Yes, perhaps
We are
we can-
doing what we can to help the villagers.
I turn to him. So what are you doing?
Our priestess is healing the sick.
Successfully?
Some.
Mm-hmm. And what else? How are you isolating it?
The tents. I am not a priest. You will have to speak to her.
What's your name and what do you do here?
Aunt name?
Alright, let's do this. What am I going to be?
Dumbo.
Giant name generator.
Odridge?
Feline?
Dumblestorf?
That's not bad.
You like Dumblestorf?
I mean,
This guy. Actually, a male
Holden
fan,
Flog?
Not a female fan. And
Holden
his
Flog?
name is his name is Per Linus.
Pear isn't P-E-A-R or P-A-R-E?
P-E-R.
Oh,
Per.
He
Linus?
Per Linus.
He sounds like
Is that one word or two?
2 words.
the whipping boy of the
Son.
He has both his tusks and they're not very big. He's young.
Let us go to the commune first, or give me a few moments to test the waters. if
Well,
you
we're
will.
not allowed in the commune. Do you mean the
Yes.
sectants?
No, I will sneak in. One of the pools provides some protection from diseases.
Zephyros, you may as well go in and stay safe in there. We'll come get
Yeah,
you when we need you.
Maybe don't. Because I don't think they would close it if the pool was that effective at
Even a
stopping
little
this
bit of
business.
help is a little
Yeah,
bit of
to
help.
you, but you're poisoning a commune that's quarantining itself right now.
Doubt it, wasn't it?
And if I
Well, it very well might if you're exposing the water in there too.
Well, you're right. In fact, maybe I am feeling a little under the weather. Why don't you go and speak with the priestess?
So, if she's feeling under the weather, I would make a check.
Okay, so Son's coming over to you and having a look at your arm again.
Okay.
Oh no, don't tell me she's sick.
It's nothing, it's nothing, it's just, I think I'm just tired from the day's travels.
Fatigue is one of the symptoms, says Paralinus.
Do I see any symptom of fatigue or anything? I mean, beyond what an hour of walking.
Some symptoms of fatigue.
Okay. Give me a sense motive. You can add 4 because you've been around Fereosae for like
Right.
most of the month.
32?
We'll say 2. You're not intimately familiar with her.
Right.
Sense motive is just a wisdom
Yeah.
check if
Well,
you
it's,
do not have any ranks.
Yeah. So you said that too?
Add 2, yeah. And you got a 32?
Okay. 10.
Yeah, so she looks and is acting tired.
It's just a normal tired.
We've been on the road, leave her alone. Don't make her go into the sick tents.
No, that's what I'm trying to prevent. I just don't want her to go anywhere. I turn back to her like, listen, if you're sick,
I'll stay in the howdah.
Alright. I turn to the other phant. Do you have any, or do you know of anything that can help prevent the development of the disease?
I am not a healer.
Gotcha.
This fucking guy.
Wear gloves, do not touch them directly.
To not touch gloves directly?
No, the sick.
Oh, that makes sense. Alright.
Burn the sick clothing. Keep them separated.
Is Fereosae wearing any clothing?
She's got her, like, magic gear and some clothing, yeah.
I glance at it, but, I figured, okay, do it later.
The buzzing fairy. If she is sick, then is the Rothe sick?
Can animals contract it? Do you
The
know?
Rothe was far away from anything that would have gotten sickness.
I do not know. There is
I was
much
pushing.
fear these days.
Gotcha.
But the sickness does affect many races.
Right. I look at Rothe, make a mental
Horses
image of.
or mules,
We do not use horses or mules.
but the humans.
You will have to ask the humans. They have
Fair enough.
not brought their fodder beasts to the sick camp. Although some of the fodder beasts wheel the wagons.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And where are they now? The fodder beasts?
I am not a stable master.
Not a healer either, I hear.
I am not a healer.
Is there a
Damn it,
stable here?
Jib.
Is there a stable here?
There is a stable in town.
Is it big enough for Rothe?
We have our own stable for our Rothe.
Perhaps you'd like to buy this Rothe?
I will inquire.
Thank you. So yeah, I turn back to Fereosae and like, okay, don't go anywhere.
All right.
Drink some water. And
Yes.
yeah, Saun blissfully skips to the sick tent, I guess.
Has Fereosae said anything about the healing pool to the party?
Yes,
Yeah.
I've mentioned.
It's strange that they closed their gates, but at the same time they've got their one priestess down there helping people in sick tents. It's almost like the populace knew that the phant would help,
Yeah.
and they walked an hour outside of town and made their sick tents right outside the
Yeah.
commune.
I'll keep an eye on Fereosae to see.
But the doors to the commune were shut. They were open when you guys got here the first time and you kind of walked in and stated your business, but this time their big ass stone doors are shut.
Psst! Fereosae!
Yes. What is it, Professor?
I get the feeling that you might be poking around for some magical healing pool at some point today.
Of course not.
If that were the case, not saying you would, perhaps I could, a little invisible wind might tag along with you. Say a flying invisible wind, has the dusty smell of an old man, might be interested in taking a dip himself.
Whatever you do, do not ruin this place, says Zephyrus.
Oh, of course not.
I'm just going to lie down for a moment.
Okay, but you know where to find me.
Good. Yes, I do.
I will have to defend it, says Zephyrus.
Oh, I'm not doing anything of the sort, Zephyrus.
Okay.
I fly up to the howdah.
Okay.
I cast heightened awareness on myself.
Nice.
I cast invisibility. I fly to the to the
You
to
fly.
the commune.
You fly into the commune.
Do I?
Are you taking
Can I?
Pixel with you, or are you just?
Yeah, I'll take
okay,
Pixel with
right.
me. I'm willing to use several invisibilities. and my goal is just to take a little dip in that disease prevention pool.
Yep.
And I'm willing to take a dips of water out of it and pour it over myself to the side so that I don't physically enter the pool.
The two of you like school children who have broken into the neighbor's pool.
I've been there once before.
Right. There's some like light fey giggling, a little splashing between you and Pixel,
And then I will fly back invisible.
As you go into this place that is definitely sacred and definitely devoted to three aspects of gods that are in phant form. One of course, which is sort of spouting water into this great pool, is a depiction of
Out of one trunk or both?
this particular Baishi Pei has 3 trunks.
Oh.
And all 3
handy.
trunks are kind of like splooshing water like faucets into this
Nice.
bubbling pool.
So it's like the 3-headed dragon after a rough night.
I'm just going straight to the Pestilent,
Okay.
which is the one that has disease resistance.
Yes. Effectively, you have now taken an anti-disease
Yes.
by dipping into the pool.
And then I'm going to fly back
Okay.
and go right back to napping in the howdah like nothing ever happened.
The Phant talk to themselves. They agree to purchase your Rothe for, give me a D100. This is
So
Well, no, I mean, if she flew into the howdah, I would be like before we even start trading, I would want to like talk to the person, see who is buying it. So if I'm not there, I
are you
can
going
make
down
a-
to the sick tent? Is that what you're
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then,
So
like
you're-
immediately after this conversation.
all right.
So I'm assuming this would even happen before she flew off, like assuming there was decent distance to fly.
Yep. So you're going down to the sick tents.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm off doing my thing.
Yep. And then what is? I think Zephyros just goes and chats with the Phants a little bit.
Mm.
Professor, what are you doing?
Let Zephyros try and barter.
Probably just staying in here with the doors tightly closed, trying not to get sick.
just not touching anything.
Yeah, just going into like what is the guy from The Aviator? What the hell's his name? Howard Hughes?
Yep.
When he starts to lose it and like just locks himself in that room. Probably that will set in like almost immediately.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh, what's everyone all uppity about?
There's disease about Mokranum. I'm sure you'll be fine though, with you being a construct or whatever it is.
I'm not a construct.
Oh, whatever, some sort of mimic, I don't know, I haven't the time. Can't you see there's disease? I'll start trying to theorize my way into...
I'm a mimic
Mimic, oh yes, exactly, yes.
of the gobbler lineage.
Ooh, gobbler mimics, you say?
Yes.
Anyway, you're distracting me. I have important research to do, must find a way to...
You know this. You've been to my house before.
Find a way. Yes, a house, of course, yes. Finding a way.
Do you think mimics can get sick?
I doubt it, not unless there's some sort of specific mimic mutation of the disease. Seems unlikely.
Oh, I thought mutations were good.
No, not all. Only some bad, some good.
Oh, his eyes looking suspiciously out the window as your paranoia has spread to Mokranum. Saun, you go down into the sick tents. Oh, this is not a good disease. Give me a heal check as you're just sort of like seeing what the effects are of the disease.
24.
The disease deals a daily constitution damage.
Makes sense.
taking Constitution damage is really the only stat that if it reaches 0, you die.
Strength too, right?
Nope, strength. There isn't. Generally, no, you pass out when your strength is 0. But there are some creatures that deal necromantic strength damage, and there's a specific sub rule that So,
we don't.
Of course, there's always exceptions. Exception based.
Definitely.
Just like the English language. So it also does charisma damage with all the pox and bleeding and. One of the symptoms that seems to affect some people initially is that they've got bloody tear ducts, like their tear ducts start to bleed.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only tears. You can hear somebody saying, as you know, like there are some helpers to the priestess that are, convincing people to stay for their own good.
Right. Well.
And the phant are able to carefully restrain someone who's freaking out because of their great size and strength.
Makes sense.
There are a couple of phant that look like they are helping Yadira, and you see that this phant woman, while she's wearing gloves, she's not wearing like the full getup. She's got some brass and bronze bits of jewelry. She kind of sticks out from the phant. She's like the way she is dressed, she's special.
Mm-hmm.
Like has some sort
I'm named NPC.
No, Paralinus had a name.
Right, yeah. Was it yellow with a yellow exclamation mark?
And a couple of the phants, a male and a female phant, do look at you. Are you sick?
I shake my head. I wanted to learn about the disease. We came from Titan Valley.
You can see Yadira with a very long needle behind a screen is slowly draining some of the pustules.
I don't think that's how they do it, actually. But I don't know. Fuck, whatever. These guys probably do. They're elephants.
When the blisters grow the size of grapes or larger.
They drain them?
I don't know what you're quoting. Or in what context.
Yeah, there's this person. There's a pomegranate size blister, and she's slowly trying to ease this person's pain. Doesn't look like she's casting a lot of magic though.
Right. So it's like a secondary thing I'm doing is I'm trying to learn what the fuck is happening.
There's a boiling pot of water, and you notice that she puts the needle into the pot of water.
Sure.
And she turns around to face you, and she tilts her head off to the side.
Hi, my name is Saun. I just came from Titan's Valley, and I want to know about this disease because I'm not contracted.
Have you touched any of the diseased?
No. But I am a healer. Do you need any?
Are you?
I nod.
Come closer then.
Have you touched any of the disease?
I have.
Then no.
And I've even contracted it.
That's great.
But
I say and take a step back.
Yep. Do not fear. By the graces of Baishipe, I have cured it.
How do you cure it? Other than by the grace of Baishipe.
Slow and vigorous care.
So it's like obesity. I say as I look at her plump body.
She blinks. Saun's charisma is what, 8?
Exactly. And that's part of why I'm acting this way, yes. I think it's 10, but yeah.
She's like this close to ending the conversation.
Right, makes sense. So, do you gain immunity after you heal?
Unfortunately, no.
So...
The damage it does to one's system is not healed by a remove disease spell. However, there are other spells that can accelerate one's recuperation and rejuvenation of their health. Contact or taking an injury from something that is infected
would result in the disease retaking hold. I have actually had the disease twice. First time by accident, second time to see.
Saun makes a mental note like, this is a crazy bitch. He nods.
Why are you all wrapped up like that? Perhaps we should inspect you to make sure you are not sick.
Sure, but maybe take those gloves off first and boil them, or use clean cloth.
My helper's gloves are clean, and she kind of...
They were literally just holding someone sick. I just saw that.
There are 2 phants that come in. You're pretty sure that the rough treatment you're now getting, it has to do with the way you introduced yourself to her. But they are, please remove your wrappings.
I do.
Okay.
But like, I mean, unless they grab me like immediately, I would say like, please hold back, and I just start unwrapping myself.
Okay.
Like, don't touch me.
Yep.
Yeah, I strip, I guess.
Okay.
Kind of slowly shaking my head.
There is this weird device. It's kind of like a clamp, like you got a little handhold and a kind of little clampy thing at the
Yes,
end.
my wife's PhD is a designer of one of those.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And then one of them has one of these, and you're like, ooh, I get to see lots of fingers. You're like staring at their fingers while they're doing this, and one of them kind of clamps onto your chin, and it's a little bit warm because it was in this boiling pot. But they have a look at you. They don't. They remark at some of the scars you have. This is from fighting bears and other things up in the Beastlands. But they don't find anything of concern.
Okay.
You may get dressed. Your clothing is rather dirty. You should probably burn it and find new clothes.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of that lying around here during an epidemic where...
I would not wear a sick man's clothes.
You've been
in the wilderness for some time, haven't you?
all my life, really.
You should have stayed there.
That's the plan. But...
He is not sick. Well, at least he does not show symptoms.
Do you have a cough?
I think back to smoking, and when I last smoked, which may induce a cough, since, that's how it works.
Any aches of the head, coughing, extreme fatigue,
I shake my head to all of those.
signs of rash. These are all symptoms of what has been called the blood veil.
So I nod when she says blood veil because I'm learning about it, but then I quickly shake my head no, I have no symptoms. Nothing you named so far. Is there anything else about it?
You notice that they kind of closed the clamp thing and they're kind of doing this with one of your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Have you bled tears of blood?
No, not for many years.
They both exchange looks and probably assume it's some sort of humanoid, little humanoid joke.
Well, to be fair, I'm not that little compared to them, but I'm smaller. Yes.
Right, you are as large as medium size could be for you to still be considered large. Yes, they. That's why two of them flanked you.
Right.
We're not sure where the disease came from.
How long ago did it come?
I first got sick when there was the first victims of the disease. They know of our healing might and came to the commune to find me.
Saun, thanks. So when was that?
That was... She's counting. Give me a second. You guys return. Today is the 73rd day of summer. And she is...
Is it really?
Yep.
That's very specific.
I don't have months for this campaign world. They basically seasons, and each season has 90 days.
That's convenient.
So,
Although
roughly 6 days ago.
I nod. And how long does a disease take to kill or to show symptoms? Is it known?
Symptoms can appear in as quick as a day.
Okay, that's
And-
useful.
And can kill as quickly as a few days.
Alright. So Saun nods, like thinking to himself. Okay,
Particularly the weak and the small.
makes sense. I don't like small ones either. Can animals contract it?
An interesting question. Given that it affects both humans and the inheritor races, it very well might be spreadable to animals.
But have you seen or heard of any animals that showed the symptoms?
I have none in the sick tents.
Understood. Thank you. Well, listen. I worship a different god, but I am a healer.
Yes?
I can't pray with you, but I might be able to help. Many of the operations you saw, and I give like the medical names that
Yep.
she might know. I can help with those. I can't stay here for very long, but my compatriots and I will probably be here for a few days. And
To heal all that are getting sick, and therefore must resort to more mundane efforts to help. Any assistance that you can provide would be blessed indeed.
I nod. I'm no cleric. I can't cure diseases. I can only delay them, and only some. But I would gladly help.
Giants are known to be noble, at least some of them.
I'm no giant either. But thank you. I doubt you have time, but maybe if you're ever resting, I would love to hear about your gods. I know very little about them.
She nods. We will show you how to treat this disease if you have the patience and the caring.
I nod. I say, okay, I have to go tell my compatriots what you just told me. At the very least, that I'll be able to check them for symptoms with more care than I have previous. And after I do, hopefully I can come back here tonight. And if not, best of luck to you.
Okay. She ignored the moaning of the guy that she was trying to help.
I do too.
Yeah. And she sort of like waves goodbye with her trunk a little bit, and then goes back to whatever.
Does she have one trunk?
She has one trunk. Yeah.
So, the blood veil starts as strong fatigue. Early signs include tears of blood, develops into a rash. Later stages include development of boils. Symptoms can appear in a day, can kill as quickly as a few days, affects humans and inheritor races.
Rash, bloody tears, headaches, and fatigue.
Headaches.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Bloody tears being the first symptom, or like one of the first.
No observed animal cases, can be cured through rest and care, can be contracted multiple times, resistant to cure disease. I think that's most of what
I don't
we've
know. She
heard.
said resistance to cure disease.
Remove disease. She said she cast it on herself, and that's how she healed herself.
Yeah, it's not resistant. It's just it doesn't bring back the constitution.
Or it's just she didn't have enough to do it a bunch of times.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, she's probably not that higher level of priest.
There are hundreds of people.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess that's the other thing, Marty. Like, what's the scale of this whole operation?
So there's probably 40 people in the tents.
Okay.
And then Bosterra is probably a few thousand people.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she was like the only one dressed like a pimp that I saw.
The others seem to be nurses, the other
Okay.
phant that were helping her.
Yes.
There were a couple of nurses, and there were some volunteers from the town.
The hose. Yes.
Uh,
Gotcha.
when you return, Zephyros nods and turns to you. They will give us. Give me a D100. Did we roll this already or not?
No. 20.
They will give us $820 for your Rothe.
Who will?
These phant over here.
Um,
The couple in behind Paralinus.
do they look at all different from each other?
They're very big, they're very blue.
The blue?
Well, these ones have blue skin, yeah. Bluish.
Huh. Cool. Okay. So I remember back to childhood days watching Dumbo. You know, in the hippie commune. I guess I come by. I stand back like let's say 5 feet, like what distance where I don't have to shout to reach their giant ears. I wave. I say hi. This is my Rothe. This is Albert.
They nod.
How many Rothe do you have?
We were only recently married. We do not have any Rothe.
Congratulations on your marriage. How long were you dating?
We were. Our parents arranged our marriage when we were 6.
And how old are you now?
The older phant laughs. There are some questions you should not ask a female.
I'm looking at him though because he's
Yeah.
the dude and you know intensely sexist culture.
Old enough.
I nod. Fair enough. What are your names? Listen, you're working a website.
Grant the phant.
Delta.
Dilda, you said?
No.
Delta?
Oh,
Krukos and Josa.
okay. Joseph's a dude.
No, female is the Josa and Krukos is the male.
Okay. I was hoping it was the other way around. All right.
Paralinus is my cousin.
I burned the clothes.
Fair enough.
They start telling you things because you started asking questions,
Yes,
and they're
absolutely.
now telling you stuff.
Yeah, and I'm listening like very intently. The purpose of this very unskilled conversation, again, fucking charisma 10, average at best, and
Always awkward all the way.
yeah, but basically the idea is Saun is trying to get a sense of like, hey, are these good people type deal?
It looks like they want a beast to help move things around and perhaps to take day trips out into the desert.
Is would a Rossi be happy doing that?
It does not sound like he's going to be very taxed.
Okay,
Sunday afternoon Rothe drive through the countryside.
yeah, I mean, so I guess when by the time the conversation concludes,
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, I'm sure Albert will be happy to go with you. Do you want the howdah?
It will come in handy.
Okay, that's $50 extra, and you can have it.
We will pay you 35 for the howdah.
Deal. So Visa, MasterCard.
We have Zollers.
Okay. Give me some Zollers, and here you go. Does he have like something? Well, okay. So a horse you'd like lead by the bridle.
Mm-hmm.
How would you lead a Rothe?
Why doesn't he have a in his nose?
Yeah, there are like strategically placed rings where you can apply the smallest amount of force and
Right.
it makes the Rothe like do what you want sort of thing.
Right.
You walk right up to it, grab it by its nose ring and just drag it forward.
I don't think.
Or you could go deet 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 or whatever it is.
Well, that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like I don't think Saun would do that. I think Saun would like absolutely, mentally communicate with a Rothe type deal.
Okay.
So I walk up and turn around, walk back to them, and I'm like, "Ta-da! What's the sales tax?"
By the hand that greets and the hand that binds. By the hand that gives and the hand that takes. By the hand that makes and the hidden hand. We conclude this transaction. And he unrolls like his trunk, and there's this big wad of rolled dollars, which is paper money.
That must come in handy in clubs. Yeah, Saun takes it.
Okay. There's
doesn't count it.
855, I think, is my counter. Okay.
Yeah, Saun takes it, pockets it. I guess I'm assuming by now everybody else is off their Rothe.
Yeah.
So it's like the other
stuff
stuff.
and equipment is being has been moved off the Rothe. Tech is enough of a jumper that he almost jumps up into the howdah and back down with all the stuff.
You were sleeping in it.
Yeah, I'm not anymore. I've come out.
Just roll them off.
Yeah. I'm feeling much better. Thank you for giving me a moment to relax.
Okay, Krukos and Josa have their first Rothe. They're very happy. They take it slowly around the commune to wherever the phant have their stable. Perlinus has already moved the 2 Vark that were playing with the disease clothing down into the sick camp. And the Vark that you scared away have mounted their giant stag beetles, 4 per stag beetle, and the stag beetles have noisily and clumsily flown away for in search for other junk. These creatures are like move fly 20 or something like that. Like they're so slow and noisy. Tech stops and watches them leave. You're pretty sure he's thinking about hunting it. But you are in town.
Right.
You return and you start telling the story about what this stuff is.
Yeah, I don't think I quote the name because I don't think Saun would even remember it because he's just worried about the disease itself.
Yep.
So with what Saun learned, I guess he says, "Hey, now that I know more about the disease, can I take one other look at you? By now you should have shown the symptoms or been close to it."
Yes, absolutely.
So I guess, well, she's wearing items, but are the items like covering her bark?
Yeah.
Okay, so I tell her, hey, don't take this the wrong way. Need you to strip. Need to look at like every inch of the body because it starts small. The rash only starts out like dot sized, and it's not necessarily in the spot of the skin that got infected. It's actually an internal disease. It's just these are the symptoms.
All right.
Yeah. I guess let's find a place.
Not around everyone, but yes.
Yeah. Let's find some place. I'm hoping we do? ?
There are like little nooks and crannies along the side of the road that leads up to the commune.
Right.
There's also like the Scarriage you could go inside of, and it's pretty.
Oh, it's gonna be pretty hard to get into the Scarriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I actually want to go into the Scarriage because Professor was sick. Yeah, well, and I wave to Tech. I'm like, hey, guard us.
I assume that you don't want to be murdered in your sleep, so you'll be discreet and careful. And
Sometimes I
respectful?
do actually, yeah, but I would never hurt a patient.
Good.
And I do exactly what I said. Like I inspect carefully for symptoms of the disease.
Okay.
I look at her eyes, like not like
First roll I need you to make is a Fortitude save with the +4 bonus from sipping from the water
good.
from the sacred font.
My fort save is not amazing.
Okay.
I've got
The DC of this disease is 18.
+3, so +7. 1d20 +7. 18.
Good thing you took a little bit of water. She's not showing any symptoms whatsoever.
Oh, God.
In fact, there was probably also a bonus for you guys washing off the thing like super quickly after it happened. So yeah, Fereosae, you feel fine. Your fatigue is gone.
right. I relay that like, hey, you probably got very lucky. Like this thing actually is really infectious. That contact you had was absolutely enough to infect and to make you infectious.
You and the professor were both very near.
Yes,
It didn't splash you in an obvious way, but you should be careful.
they did just inspect me.
Good.
And that's how I learned how to inspect. And they're in trouble here. They really only have one priestess, and you know, I relay like, hey, you know, I didn't say this in front of everyone, but this is fucking ground zero. We want to get the fuck out of here very fast.
Yes. Let's get to the ether rails and figure out why they're late.
Yeah.
So where are you staying the night? By this point in time, it's like dark. Like it's dark.
Is there
Cactus
a place?
Bear Town?
Cactus Bear Town.
Yeah, we'll have to go back around the camp to the other